Hello friends, in this video we will see the if-else-if structure. So if-else-if structure is used whenever you have more than one conditions, more than one choice of conditions. Like for example, if you want to check for 3 or 4 conditions, if one condition satisfies, we want to do something. If the condition 2 satisfies, we have to do something else. And if the condition 3 satisfies, we have to do something else. If the condition 4 satisfies, we have to do something else. Similarly, if we have more than 2 conditions, so we can go for if else if structure. So here you can see, uh, here we have first condition. If the first condition is true, statement 1 is executed and all other statements are skipped. If the condition 1 is false, it will check the condition 2. Next, if the condition 2, that is else if the condition 2 is satisfied, it's true, statement 2 and 3 gets executed and all statement 1, 4, 5 and 6 will be uh, skipped. And if the condition 2 also is false, then the condition 3 is checked. If the condition 3 is true, statement 4 is executed and 1, 2, 3, 5 and 6 are skipped. So we can have more than 3 conditions. I have given only 3 conditions here. If, else if, else if. You can have continue the else if ladder like if, else if, else if, else if, else if, n number of times. There is no restriction. But the last one would be else. You can skip this. This is an optional block. The else block is optional. Even if there is no else block, the program will execute. There will be no compiler error. But it should be if condition and few statements, else if again second condition and few statements, and again else if condition and few statements. So if you want, you can add the else. So when not all the conditions fail, the else block will be executed. So this is how it works. So first, it checks the if conditions. The condition 1, if it's true, it executes that if block and it comes to the statements which are after the if else if structure. All other statements are skipped. If it's false, it goes to the next else if condition and it checks whether the condition is true. If it's true, that if condition if block is executed and it goes to the all the statements of after the if else structure. If it's false, it goes to the next else if condition. So similarly, it keeps on checking all the if else if conditions until it finds the right match. If none of the condition is true, it finally executes the else blocks. So here I have given only 3 else if blocks. You can have more than 3 else if blocks. You can have one if else block or one if 2 else if blocks. That's your wish. So ultimately, if all the else if statements are false, the else block will get executed. If you don't have an else block, no problem. The program continues. This is an optional block. The else block is optional. So we have the same conditions here which can be used: greater than, less than, equal to, not equal to, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. So we'll see example 1. So in the example 1, so we want to check if the value of x is greater than or equal to 85. We want to print distinction. If the value is, or else if that is false, and if x has value greater than 60 or equal to 6, greater than or equal to 60, we want to print first class. Or if it's not greater than 60, then it goes to the next condition, that's x greater than or equal to 50. If that condition is true, it prints second class. Even if the x value is not greater than 50 or equal to 50, it goes to the else block and says it prints pass. See, first if it's true, it prints distinction. So we get output distinction. Example 2 we see. In this case, if x value is 55, you can see the x value is 55 here. So this will be false, will not get executed. Next, x value is 55, 55 greater than 60, greater than or equal to 60 is again false. So this statement is also not going to be executed. And now, if x is equal to 55, 55 greater than or equal to 50 is true, and this statement is true, and this block going to be executed. This block will be executed and it prints second class. So no other statements will be printed. So we get second class as output. We'll see example 3. Now the x value is 10. So first condition, 10 greater than or equal to 85 is false and will not be printed. And next, 10 greater than or equal to 60. This condition is also false and it will not be printed. And again, x greater than 50, that's 10 greater than 50 is also false and the block will not be executed. And now none of the statements is true, none of the conditions is true, so the else block will definitely be executed. We get the output as pass. So we saw a few examples of if else structure. So we'll see some programs. So this is a program which illustrates the if else structure. So we have a x variable of type int declared and we are telling the user to enter the value of x. So we are taking that value inside the x variable. And now if the x value is greater than 0, we would like to say it's a positive, you have entered a positive number. So if the number is equal to 0, so now we are considering it's neither, in this program we are considering x as neither positive nor negative. So if the value is 0, we'll print you have entered neither positive nor negative. Or even if that is true, if the user is entering a negative number, then it will print you have entered a negative number. So we'll see the output of this. I'll say Alt F9 to compile. The compile status is success. We'll do Control F9. So I'll enter a value here. I'll enter 5. It says you have entered a positive number. I'll do Control F9 again. This time I say -9. This means you have entered a negative number. You can see it checks one by one. It checks whether the -9 is greater than 0. No, it does not execute. -9 is equal to 0. No. So else it prints this block. So this time I'll enter a 0. If I enter a 0, it gives you have entered neither positive nor negative. You can see first it checks 0 greater than 0 is false. Then 0 equal to 0 is true. So this gets executed. All the statements get executed and we get you have entered neither positive nor negative. So this way we can use else if structure to check more than 2 conditions. We'll see one more example. So in this example, we are asking a user to enter his age and we are deciding whether it's a kid or a teenager or adult or old. How is he categorized? So, and we have not done any checking for whether the user is entering a positive number or negative. We're just assuming that the user will enter the positive number. Now we have declared a variable age of type int. We enter the value and we'll take the value inside the int. If the age is greater than or equal to 1 and between less than or equal to 10, you can see we are using an AND operation here. So both statements should be true. It should be greater than or equal to 1 or it should be less than or equal to 10. So it should be between 1 and 10, including the 1 and 10. So then we will print it as you are a kid. Else if the age value is not between 1 and 10, we will check it between 11 and 20. So if it's between 11 and 20, we'll say you are a teenager. So if it's 21 to 30, we'll say you are adult. So 31 to 40, we'll consider it as you are old. And again, if it's more than 40, we'll consider it as you're very old. So we can change this age. I think 20 is a very small age for a teenager. We'll say 30. And we'll say 31 as an adult, 31 to 40 as an, okay, we'll say 50 as an adult, 51 to 60 as a old person. Okay, you're old. So we'll consider like this. We see 1 to, okay, let it be. We'll consider this 1 to 10 as kid, 11 to 30 as a teenager, 31 to 50 as old adult, 51 to 60 as old, and else if it's greater than 60, he's very old. We'll save this and I'll compile this program. I'll do Alt F9 and I'll do Control F9. So now if I enter age, which is 22, so it should be, you can see if the age is between 11 and 30, we should get output, you are a teenager. So it is, you are a teenager. Control F9. This time I'll say 47. 47 we should get, you are adult. I'll do again Control F9. This time I'll say 1. You are kid. So what happens if I say 0? Control F9. So we get some errors. I say 0. It says you are very old. So how does this happen? Because we are considering from 1. We are not considering any negative values. We should check the negative values. User should not enter a negative value or 0. You should always enter greater than 1. We are not doing any checking of the value here. So we'll see in the later videos how to check whether the user has to enter a correct value or not. We are just assuming that he'll enter a correct age. He'll never enter a 0 age or minus age. So we'll see one more program. So in this, okay, we already seen this program. We'll see. Okay, we'll see one more program here. So here we are checking whether a person is a manager or a clerk. So M for manager. So either small m or capital M for manager, C, capital C or small c for clerk. And his experience, if it's greater than 10, we should provide him some facilities if he's a manager. If it's less than 10, if it's a manager, we need to provide a car, driver, and hospital. If he's a clerk and greater than 10 years experience, we should provide him hospital and petrol allowance. And if he's a clerk and he's less than 10 years experience, we have to provide only hospital facilities. And if he's not a clerk and not a manager, he does not belong to these categories, no facilities will be provided here. So this is a simple program. So we need to take designation as a character. We'll take either M or C, or if it's a different character, so this no facilities will be given to him. And we also take experience. So I'll use a /n here and I'll save the program. I do Alt F9 to compile the program and Control F9 to execute the program. So now I'll say he's a manager. If I can enter a small m and I can give a space and give his experience is 10 years. Okay, it's 10 years. So he'll get the bungalow facility, car, driver, and hospital facility. Again, I'll say Control 9. This time I can say capital M. And I can say he's 7 years of experience. He has 7 years of experience. So he'll get only car, driver, and hospital. He'll not get a bungalow. So this way we can choose any option and check the condition. So this time I'll say he is a clerk and he is 13 years experience. We'll give him hospital and petrol allowance. So now one more option is a Control F9 and the other person is a driver. If I say D, so it doesn't match any of the conditions, so the else block will be executed. And even if he has 10-12 years experience as a driver, so no facilities will be given to him. So this way we can categorize. It's just an hypothetical example. It's not an actual example. I just gave how the else if structure works. You can use many logics here, many situations, consider many situations. I've just given an example to you how the if else if structure works. So if else if works like this. First, one condition is checked. If it's false, it checks the other condition. If it's false again, it checks the other condition. If it's false, it checks the other condition. And if none, all of them are false, the else structure executes. Again, this is an optional. Even if you don't write this, there will be no errors in the program. No compiler errors will be there. Again, you have to observe one more thing. I have used a bracket here. So this is the precedence of operation. So this executes first. So either it checks for a small m or capital M. So this is a separate execution first. It executes here. And if one of them is true, it gives true. If both of them are false, this operation gives false. After that, this result is ANDed with this result, whether the experience. So if we get true and the complete expression here as a true, then the satisfaction is then the condition is satisfied. So this way we can do precedence of operation. We can check first this one and get whether it's true or false, and then AND with other condition. So you have to be careful in such situations. So putting this bracket is very important. Otherwise, you'll get confusions here. So friends, in this video, we've learned about if-else if structure. So we'll learn more decision controlling structures in the upcoming videos. Thank you for watching this video.